Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Barcast TV and to the Bar Pro League Season 4 Group B. I'm Barcast and I'm joined by Kuchy, the man here in the game. Welcome, Kuchy.
What's up, everybody?
Yo, man. So, for those of you who don't know, Kuchy here is a pretty accomplished bar player. What, you got second place in the 2v2 tournament this year. You qualified for season 1 of the 5v5 Omega series. You got fourth, your team got fourth place in the Omega series last season, and Canada won first place in Nation Wars. So quite the achievements this year.
Oh, yeah, that was all beautiful tournaments. I love them.
Yeah, those super fun to watch, super fun to play in, of course. Shout out, that's coming up next month, next season of the 5v5. So I'm sure we'll see you there again. Um, we have we have this series to watch together. Before we get into it though, I would like to know how you would describe your playstyle for those people who might not know. Kuchy.
Oh, I like to do a bit of everything, right? Keep everyone on their toes. You never know what's coming with me.
Yeah. Okay, so straight from the horse's mouth. I would like this. Yeah, that kind of checks out. Definitely known for cooking strats, I'd say. And here you are versus Alt F4. So, uh, do you have? What are your thoughts on him? How do you know? What do you think about how he likes to play, and maybe how do you adjust your play based off of his style?
All right, so you may know that I'm not too experienced in 1v1 yet, so I haven't played many games against these top players. I know Alta 4 is a big Armada player. I think everyone describes him as the very aggressive pick enjoyer. And then he also does some all-ins in the early game really, really strong. Something I do not do though is adapt my playstyle to my opponent, right? I'd prefer to always have a build that is just solid and strong that works against everything, and then there's just no surprise I can have. So going into this, I do absolutely no adaptation on my build, knowing that he's going Armada ticks.
And looking at your build, it seems like we're doing. It looks like this X Factor build, right? Getting on the 9 mexes ASAP, but this is a little unorthodox. But 2 mex vehicle lab. Is that something you've been practicing, or?
I don't know what the actual X Factor build is on Tundra. This is really just my take on it on this one. But yeah, I think people are undervaluing the 2 mex vehicle start because the extra metal produce you get off of 3 mex, usually you just float on it for a while. And by the time you're able to spend all of it, you kind of recuperate it in a 2 mex start anyway, because you get the faster expend. So.
Okay, so I guess that's the name of the game. You'll expand with your commander here in a moment, or?
Yeah, just shortly I'll expend to the left and then come back to the lab.
Yeah. Oh,
producing with the extra metal.
Okay, so you're making an LLT even. That's interesting.
Yeah, I played this map. I think it was versus Teddy, and the early Eras was a bit too much, so I've incorporated an early LLT into the build now.
Yeah, that's smart. I want to say I've messed around with this same open before, 2 mex LLT, and then you do this walk. So it's totally viable. And then classic Alt F4 fashion, we have like 2 pawns out already, 2 ticks. I think you got a little unlucky there losing that, but yeah, at least you know it's on its way, right?
Yeah, there we go. I was able to spot both pawns at least, so I know what's coming. I can intercept here.
And interesting, I see you assisted the first incisor out with your commander, it looks like, and then went to expand. Meanwhile, in Alt F4 side of the map, he's got two cons. Well, one's just finishing. The Lazarus is out, kind of fixing the issues, which is nice on this map. Oh, nice D-gun there. There's quite a lot of energy reclaim on this map, so it's good to have that Lazarus excess. So this is super annoying, right?
It's so annoying.
Yeah.
I was able to finish it in time at least, so I get the 30 metal reclaim, but it does hurt a bit.
Oh, that's interesting. I guess, yeah, you get the wreck if it actually finishes and then explodes. So
yeah, nothing's worse than your mechs dying at 99%.
Yeah. Okay. So you lose all the energy and metal, huh? I didn't realize till pretty late in this game that if you let a building decay, you'll get the metal back, but not the energy.
Yeah, I think that's a cool concept in this game.
Yeah.
Like energy being, once it's expanded, but metal you can somewhat work with.
Yeah, so, okay, so this is the name of the game, right? We get on 9 mexes, we get the commander back to the factory, and then just start producing incisors. Do you always treat this like is this an all-in? Do you ever, like, when do you start adding on cons? Like, if you think you've gotten enough damage or think it can't get more? What's the follow-up to this?
No way, I don't see this as an all-in at all. I think it's very oppressive to play against, and it definitely looks as an all-in when players play their normal playstyle where they do multiple constructor expanding and their commander expanding, right?
Mm-hmm.
The more greedy builds out there. But when people play it properly against these top players, they will keep their commanders at home. They will not overexpand with like 3 constructors and stuff, right?
Right.
They're able to deal with the critical amount of incisors that I bring to the table. And then the eco is more stable. But if the enemy overextends, put too much into harassment when I'm really strong, which is going to be soon now that I'm spending
Yeah.
all my metal,
Yeah.
I get a really good timing, and I can use that timing to just demolish. But if they don't go too greedy, then we have a good game going on.
Right. There is that window of time, right? I want to say it's around like 5:30 to 6:30 where the vehicle player in this position just has like a huge army advantage over the bot player. So, and that's kind of coming up here in a few moments.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. This is great counter damage, honestly. Just a few ticks, and like this is what Alt F4 is known for. Just finding this damage, right? So.
Yeah. At this point, I know that my timing is not going to be a critical amount to wipe the base, right? So I know that right now, if I see the commander expanding, which is what I will be trying to look out for with my rovers when I send my
That's
incisor
interesting.
forward.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see if the commander is expanding. If the commander is expanding and I'm not hurt from the early game, I know I can just all in the base and there's absolutely nothing they can do to stop it. But now I know that I took some damage. I lost like 3 mechs and delayed like 2 more. So I know that my incisor amount is not going to reach critical mass that I can wipe the base fully, even if I find the commander expanding. So I'm going to have to be a bit more careful now with my plan going forward.
This is a great vision from him, actually. And we do see the commander expanding on the right side. So this is something I've seen Andy do. He'll just expand like to the right from the main base, just like this. So kind of important to get these, I think, the back plateau capped as quickly as possible. And then you see fights kind of in these low ground areas here. So you're moving forward with your incisors here. Something I've been, I don't want to say struggling with, but maybe learning more about is just how to micro these incisors. Like what are you looking for in an engagement against pawns like this?
Well, right now I know I'm on a clock, so I need to be very aggressive to find how much damage I can deal with this, because I took some damage and I know he's been expanding off of it. I'm gonna find the LLT on the expansion on the right. 2 of them, I know the commander has been there. It's not 2 LLTs made from constructors. Otherwise they would still be in the process of being made.
Mm-hmm.
So my engagement here, I'm thinking, okay, I don't have critical mass to wipe the base, even if there's no commander there. So I'm gonna just play around and just take it slow, try to keep him at bay.
I see.
Not overcommit, not all in. Like if I all in here, I just lose all my unity, resurrect them, and I'm dead in the next minute.
That was a great turnaround there. Just barely, like, it looks like you're gonna commit and then pulled back. That was slick.
Yeah, so right now I'm probably with less army and just keeping him in his base, which allows me to greed expand in the back.
Yeah, we see these exploiters going up in the back. I was just kind of commenting. There's like two cons in mid. But fortunately for Alt F4, there's some 2 ticks there kind of harassing. A single Centurion is just gonna get completely mowed down. That was a little bit of a waste. I love Centurions, but kind of unfortunate to see that happen. ticks aren't going to be able to get much value. I love these spotting ticks though on the left side of the map. Take a bit of an engagement here. So for those of you who don't know, there's actually like plus 3.6 mexes here and here. Is there any more? Yeah, these ones are plus 3.6, so a little bit more valuable mexes there. And this is actually great damage here. I guess he's committing to a kind of counterattack here. You're moving in with your incisors.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense here to go for a counterattack. I was trying to make him do it because I do have exploiters down there, and I'm adding production. Right, I think I make 1 ton. I don't know. I don't remember.
So
no,
just,
I'm still on 7-1. Okay.
Yeah. Great little ratio there. Having those, like, you need the scouts with the incisors out on the board to like spot for the commander, spot for, I guess, really LLTs, I suppose.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is why he did not hard engage here on my base. Go for a bit of a trade because he does a air swap.
Right.
A really good timing air swap. I like this.
Yeah, that's pretty clean. And there's 3 conturrets sitting on that, right? So you end up clearing out the left side there, a lot of the mexes. There's this engagement going on in mid. Seems like you're kind of shooing that away, but you know, here comes the gunships, right? So
yeah, it's so annoying to deal with.
Right.
People sleeping on gunship, it's OP, guys.
It is. They kill mexes so quickly, right? And if you spread them out across the map like this, it's like they'll get their damage and value before you really have time to react. Unless, I mean, you don't really want to be pre-making AA verse. Maybe you do. I don't know. But this is definitely a strong little tech switch here. That's interesting. He just goes for the LLT first before the mexes.
Yeah, I found they can really break LLTs quick. Like if the enemy porks up somewhere, you can bring the banshees from behind, and then you get flank damage as you engage with your army.
Right. Yeah, 2 of them take on an LLT actually really well. That's interesting. Like these aren't even hardly damaged at all.
Yeah, I think a single banshee can kill 4 LLTs.
That's kind of wild.
Maybe I'm exaggerating a bit. I think it's 4. I think it's not 3.
Well, I mean, we're watching 2 like take on 1 and like not take any hull damage. It seems like. So yeah, it looks like they're gonna get like 3 mexes on the left side, 3 mexes on the right. That's a lot of value here. A single bomber is gonna come in, get a couple of shots off. More banshees on the way. So
yeah, this was all happening when the wind crashed, so I could not get my lashers out in time. But I'm at least able to get some counterplay here. Like I know he's got the air lab, a lot of banshees, so I know all of his metal production and energy production went into that rather than ground units.
Yeah.
So I'm able to get some compensation. Yeah.
This is a lot of damage. I mean, this is like the best case scenario, right? Incisors on top of wind farms is like that's the value you're looking for. Getting a factory here. This is a lot of damage. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he does have a lot of build power though. When I think it's 5 construction turret he's got. That was 4 and some constructors.
Right. I mean, but you still have incisors.
So much build power. I know I'm not able to wipe everything. Build power just makes such a big difference in defending against these incisors.
Yeah. I mean, you're still here getting damage. I mean, that's like the whole main base kind of cleared out there. Did that even up the game though? And I'm looking at the metal income rate, 34 to 26. Yeah, I mean, you have a 20% E advantage.
Yeah, I think it's one of those moments where the game is not decided by metal production anymore now, because it's probably sitting on 2,000 plus metal wrecks in his base.
Right.
While also outproducing me on metal. But I've got the big tempo now where he's on very low energy.
No army
well,
though,
I say
right?
low energy.
Right.
I'm not doing too good on energy either, actually, but yeah, all his metal advantage now is like behind the big tempo loss where he has to rebuild all the production infrastructure.
Right. I think this is maybe one of the areas where like you think about the game differently than other players or something like that, or you understand it at like a different level, so to speak. I'm thinking back to some of the strategies we were cooking in the 5v5 tournament, right? Where it's like you're like thinking about the bottlenecks, so to speak, in certain times in the game, right? And this is surely one of them, right? It's not like a metal thing; it's just a build power. So
yeah, correct. I think I'm a nerd. I like numbers a lot. But I see a lot of nerds play this game and focus too much on metal. And I like to separate metal from the end game condition, right? The winning goal, right? The plan is to kill the enemy commander, right? Metal
Okay.
is one way to achieve that goal. Tempo is probably a better stat to look for, right?
Which is harder to quantify. Right? There's no stat that's like the who has lower tempo in the game. I guess you can zoom out and kind of
Yeah,
look
yeah,
and think about it, right? But it's definitely contextual.
absolutely. You definitely need to start looking at the game differently to get a feel for the tempo, knowing like how your damage has an impact, right? Like right now, I'm not going blind into this. I know how much damage I've been able to deal to Ubi Vader, so I know I'm able to sneak in some lashers on the left side and right side, and they're not gonna get caught off by some pawns or stuff. Right? I killed his
Yeah,
production, so I know he's rebuilding the production,
right. And this is a
working on those res bots.
great use, great value from units that were made earlier to deal with the to be anti-air for the gunships, right? Well, now suddenly there's kind of tickling these expansions on the left side. I see two more on the right side, excuse me, two more on the left side. Kind of coincidental. Wind is stalling at the moment, right? But finally we moved into.
I realize there's a lot of trees on this map. I could have found some constructors over to eat them.
Yeah, there's 28,000 just in here, so definitely a map where you can go like resbot first and go for an early counter. It's definitely something available to you. I can see he isn't really committed to reclaiming this energy. I guess finally now he's spent his metal. Okay, so a couple of Lazarus are out, and I'm gonna start reclaiming that metal from all those incisors and wrecks earlier. Both players have transitioned to medium tank, so like this is definitely a different phase. Like it's still T1 phase, but it's I don't know how to say it. Like suddenly LOTs don't really matter. It's more about positioning, I guess. You have to be in front of these tanks before they want to like move onto your side of the territory. Because I mean, medium tanks have so much HP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't.
I think when we see the change to commander size, we're gonna see medium tanks be very oppressive in 1v1.
Change to the what a commander?
Yeah, well, the hitbox on the commander is going to change from 28 unit to 34 unit. I think it's a 20% change.
Right.
And given that you can currently just dodge a ball of medium tank, like you can bring 2,000 metal worth of tank and dodge infinitely, right? But now that the commander hitbox is going to be larger, it's going to be more difficult to dodge.
I kind of like that.
I think that's going to change the meta in a good way.
Yeah, be more like protective of the commander once we enter this phase of the game, right? Like you can't be on the map just like de-gunning everything and not really worried about armies attacking you. I mean, I'm just thinking of like trying to snipe an armed commander with incisors, right? It's just not gonna happen, right? It's just but medium tanks are a little better versus commanders, so it's interesting to hear.
Flashback versus the I have flashbacks against Ubi Vader last 1v1 tournament. I was also versus Ubi Vader, and I all in this commander on Isidis crack, and he was like 2% HP retreating, and he survived, and I died because of that.
Okay. I think I remember that. He was like kind of walking up the plateau or something like that in the middle.
Yeah.
I think I remember that game. Yeah. Okay.
I was so depressed.
Well, here you are again, right? So I guess redemption, right? Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Bit of foreshadowing.
Twice in a row.
Yeah.
But this time, I have more practice, more experience.
This is an interesting position here, like pushing up the hill versus him. Oh, yeah, he's out of position though. Jeez.
I'm just scouting here. I don't know if I can all in. I see how much unit he has.
Right.
I know I can deal a little bit of damage, but I'm really scouting how well he recuperated from my earlier attacks. I don't want to lose all my units. I'm just trying to scout.
Okay.
Gather information.
We see some maces on the left side here with a stout. You don't see that composition every day. Seems like you've made the transition to air as well. I've seen a couple of bombers are out. No Shuris? Okay, that's cute. And a few fighters. I like to see that the air lab is idle actually though in some ways, right? It's like I've lost quite a few games where it's like I made the mistake of committing too hard to air and not utilizing, say, like bombers, for instance, but I'll have like a couple thousand metal of fighters in the air, right? And just not using that air advantage, right? Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. The air lab can consume all your energy if you're not careful.
Right, and I don't want to say you like walk into it, right? But a lot of times in the mid game, you're thinking, all right, well, I don't want to lose to some kind of bombing run or a commander snipe or Shuri's showing up, right? So I'll make some air, right? Protect myself that way and like fight for air control, but kind of end up overdoing it. So that's a nice little bombing run. Single air turret, one bomb gets off. A couple things. You see this run by on the left or right side is getting cleared up, so exploiters doing their work. The left,
very dynamic game here.
Yeah,
PM requirement. Like I'm keeping him checking everything. Like whenever he engages me on one front, I try to make him also micro a second front, so he make a bit the worst decision on the first front he was on.
Right. This is not looking good. Okay, so these are some rezzed incisors from earlier getting on top of wins. Unfortunate for him, he's kind of driving through them. You end up taking a lot of damage on incisors, kind of blowing up wins next to you. Or
yeah, that was a big misplay on my part. I didn't have... I lost my radar on the left and I did not notice.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say, this is kind of looks like it's shifting in Alt F4's favor in a way. Like he cleared out your left side. He hasn't retaken his right, but ooh, in the middle I can see you actually have a kind of like a better medium tank count, right? Forcing his commander back, denying his own 3.6 mechs here. I think he was like trying to secure the left side and didn't really reinforce it, right? I mean, he brought I saw he brought a lot of resbots up there and a couple of cons, but wasn't really able to capitalize on that. So
yeah, I definitely underestimated how many units he could afford to send on the left side while keeping my units at bay on the center. Should have been more careful with that.
That was a nice catch right there, getting those res bots for free. See some medium tanks are trying to sneak by on the left again for more harassment, but you got some units in position. He's got his mine layer out. Love to see that. Which they just recently changed mines. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Oh?
Yeah.
What changed?
So mines auto-reveal themselves if a unit is within 500 range of the mine. And then you can just like auto-attack or fight move and clear out mines that way.
Wow, why would you want to make mines then?
Yeah. So pretty sure that's the change. That's the change they made. I really like the base layout. I see you got two energy storage, which is huge on a 14 wind speed map playing as core. We can see Alta 4 has got 2 energy storage, even some A solars up, which I also like to see that on this map where it's like a little dodgy. The wind isn't too powerful, right? So it's nice to have that strong base.
Yeah, people need to start doing energy storage more. It's really good value. I should have had more than 2 here. I should have at least 4.
What's crazy is their cost, right? It's what, 175 metal for the energy storage, and it's 150 for a solar collector. So it's like kind of thinking back to tempo, perhaps, right? It's several thousand energy in the bank for 175 metal, as opposed to just the 20 raw income provided by the just the basics.
Some good engagement going on here, like. Yeah.
Is this game? This. I mean, that's a lot of media.
Where are the units here? I'm wondering, like.
Okay, I mean, tanks do have a hard time getting up a hill, and he's being really sassy with that commander stepping. I don't know about that. Okay. Like you said, just kind of dodging shots here, but I mean, you have too many tanks next to the commander, right? This is just.
I think I have critical mass here.
Yeah. Okay. I want to say that that little step forward the first time he was like trying to get the D-guns off, I think that was a bit of a mistake. But who am I? Yeah, GG. Game 1 going to you. Okay, so that feels nice in a best of 3.
Battle ended.
Yeah, see what I mean? You're never safe. You never know what's going to happen.
Can you tell us about like the pick ban stage? What were you thinking going into that, or what maps were you like looking to ban or pick versus him? I guess that was Tundra was your pick.
No, Tundra was his pick. I
Okay,
think Tundra is a really good map for Armada. I think it's an excellent pick for Ruby Vader. The fact that you spawn on top of the cliff means the Pawn versus Grunt matchup is better
right,
on that map.
right.
So it was a good pick from him. I think he banned Green Heaven. I think I never lost on Green Heaven this week. Even in practice match, I don't think I have a single loss on Green Heaven. So he did ban Green Heaven, which is a good
Okay,
ban.
right.
I don't remember about my bans, but I knew I wanted to play big maps. I really like big maps.
Yeah, yeah.
If I can get stable through the tier 2 stage, I think I have an advantage against most of these 1v1 players with
Right. Now
more
does
experience, microing bombers, more experience with tier 2 units from coming off from team games.
team games. Okay,
Generally.
okay. I was gonna ask, is that more from like team games or a free for all enjoyer? I'm not sure where you get that experience, where you've personally gotten that experience from. So, um, it's interesting to hear it's team games, which is something I wish more of these like big 8v8 players or would play 1v1s, right? Because they do have a lot of experience in that 2-2 phase of the game, which is kind of hard to get to in ones, but I think like you said, if you do, you just have an advantage, right? So
Battle started.
glad to
Yeah,
see.
and I must say, playing tier 2 in 1v1 has changed my way to look at the tier 2 stage in 8v8 too. I think there's some like there's obviously a lot to learn from 1v1 when you are a 8v8 player, but even the tier 2 stage I thought like my 8v8 skill gonna translate to 1v1, but it's also the other way around. There's a
Okay. Do you
lot
have
that's
any like
changed.
specific things that you've kind of like had to rethink or maybe thought?
Yeah, but without spoiling it, we're gonna
Uh,
see some of those concepts perhaps in this one.
oh, okay, okay, fair enough.
Maybe we
Right.
can
So
wait and
Mariposa Island, like I don't know if everyone knows like we've been playing 1v1s on this map, but what is it? It's an 8v8 suitable for 18 versus 18, but here we are, right?
yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
well,
I hate this map for 8v8, but it's really fun for 1v1, in my opinion.
right. What do you like about it? Like what's different or what is there I don't know, what are your
I
thoughts?
think this is the best 1v1 map ever. I don't really like the color scheme of it. Like, it's not vibrant despite being nature, grass,
Mhm.
water. But the wind value, the tidal value, the distance from both opponents, it just all makes sense.
Mm.
Right? Everything is viable here, and that's what I love about this.
Okay,
Right, you
okay.
can start vehicle, you have some rocks that you're giving up on, but the most of the terrain is flat, so you're still benefiting from the vehicle advantage.
Mm-hmm.
You have water, you can literally start in water, with shipyard or hovers, right? I think we've seen X Factor do a hover start versus you.
Yeah, yeah, you might want to catch that. If you're,
He saw me, he sent me the replay, and was
yeah.
like, you have to look at this.
Yeah, I'll just pause for you. And it's like, I think when he started here, right, you'd open hovers, move to vehicles. This is X Factor versus me from the qualifiers. And then he just turtled super hard, went like T2
Went
bots,
tier
right?
2.
And then, and then he went, got his fusions up. And then atomic bomber and just ran over here and killed my commander. I was like,
Yeah, see what I mean? Everything can be played on this map. So much place for skill expression.
yes,
I
yes.
love it.
And just epic macro games, right? So I'm glad to hear you've been enjoying it. I thought this was a great map, and it's been nice to play games on it and see the games played on it this season. So hopefully maybe it comes back for another season.
Oh yeah, I hope we see more big maps for 1v1. Also maps that are more often played in 8v8. They can see some resurgence in 1v1. Like I've been playing all that glitters in 1v1 and 2v2 is actually fun to play.
Okay, okay.
You take the canyon spawn from both sides and you have a really cool map.
Oh right, okay. That makes sense. I'm thinking like Pawn Retreat as a 1v1 map. That's got probably produces some good games. What other 8v8 maps would make?
Oh yeah, that's true. Pawn Retreat would be amazing too.
It's got the single geo, right? It's just the one on both sides. So I like those kinds of things. Like certain like low E maps like this, I would love to see. Well, this one does actually, but you might not think it. But yeah, there's two geos on this high ground here. Haven't seen that really come into play in many games, but I mean, there's a lot to be
that's
said
right.
about good map design and like what makes a good map, and maybe a cut time
Yeah,
for
map makers though putting geos in the center of the map, I think I don't like that. I think everyone wants to see a Cerberus go up there, and so they put geo spots in the middle. But I think it's
Right.
a bit cringe. No offense to map makers.
Right, right. As opposed to maybe like having it in the main here, and then, or maybe something like this. Suddenly, it's like there's this skill expression and macroing it in and of itself, right? Can you get to T2 and get this geo up in an efficient way and get an advantage that way, right? So, definitely like that being a part of the game. From my experience, a lot of players don't really like these reclaim maps. I'm not sure if that's the right way of saying it, but like Surtagata, players hated that little like mini game, like contesting the reclaim that's available on the map. But this seems a little like it's so far, and both players have access to equal amounts. It's not
Oh, I
like
like the way you put it. The reclaim minigame.
yeah,
You need to send the res bot, but then it dies to a grunt.
right, or a tick, right? So
Yeah. Or a thing. Yeah,
or a
that's yep. Yep. I also guess I don't like it, but on this map it makes sense. It's a big map.
right.
And you can see he's on the aggression with these ticks and pawns, and I have to play that minigame right now. Minigame I'm not comfortable with, by the way.
Right, and this is where I would say like Alta 4 might have a bit of an advantage, or not advantage, like it suits his play style, so to speak. He likes to be everywhere at once, like harassing, using ticks. Interesting to see him like leaning more on pawns though this game. A lot of times when I try this playstyle, I'll just like play more tick heavy, like 1 pawn 5 tick on repeat, something like that, because it's so much. It's challenging yeah, it's challenging to engage the grunts, right? And I think like at least having the speed with the ticks, like you have some chance of like attacking into them and getting the flanking damage, right? Oh, this is not good. Abusing that range here.
Oh yeah, no. Oh no. This was devastating to me.
Yeah, that's a lot of value.
I think I sent a grunt to that guy and I thought he was gonna die, but he won the 1v1.
Oof.
And then I stopped looking at it and it killed my constructor, 3 mechs in the res bot
Yeah,
that was nearby to resurrect the mechs that died.
Luckily for you, you have a resbot in tow.
And it runs away. It freaking runs away. No. Okay, no, I kill it. Okay.
Dude.
I definitely took a bit too much mental damage here from this one pawn.
Okay. How do you recover from something like that? Do you like... I mean, I've been there before, right? It's like it's the last thing you want to have happen against a guy who like this is what he has to do to like get an advantage, right? Is get those great trades with these cheaper units, right? And I don't know, dude.
How do you recover from that in general? I think you just rush the resbot, resurrect the constructor right away.
Yeah.
Right, because then you cut off the walking distance from making a new constructor from your lab. And that means that translates to a lot more metal. So I think that's the priority, and this is what I do here. But I think in this game specifically, it's not about recovering, because I was able to figure out that his expansion path was slower than mine because he didn't expand with the commander.
Right.
On this map, you have multiple clusters of 3 mechs.
Yes.
And when you have clusters of 3 mechs, it's usually better to expand with the commander if you're able to. Right? You have like 300 build power on the commander, whereas a single constructor has like 80.
Mm-hmm.
So the downside of the commander is it's slower, but since it spends more time building than walking, it makes more sense when there's clusters of mechs.
Right, and you can do these nice little tidy expansions, right? Like multiple LOTs next to the 3 mexes, so everything's buttoned up.
So I know I'm not behind. I know I'm not behind despite losing the 3 mechs, 1 constructor, 1 resbot to a single pawn.
I'm really surprised he's getting the value here with these pawns, man. Like,
no. I'm late on my radar here.
Right. And a shipyard, okay, with multiple conturrets on the shore. Okay, is that? I guess that explains the spawning position earlier.
Yeah. I really like this pawn here. That's why I picked this map. The shipyard transition represents a big part of the mid game here. Having access to a lot of mechs that will be uncontested on water.
Right. How do you feel about doing this over just like a vehicle transition though? No, wouldn't it be aren't you giving up some of like maybe like fighting over the plateau in some ways, or like that not?
Yeah, very good question. And yes, I believe you give up plateau control by not going vehicle. And I think that's fine if you can justify it more than just the metal extractors on the water, right? Because the shipyard, you also want to deny the enemy extractors on water,
Yeah.
but also unlock tidal. I think that's where the cutoff is, why it pushes it above the edge compared to just going vehicle and having the plateau instead.
So for those of you who don't know, titles are 85 metal and give you the tidal speed, right? And solars are, was it 150, 155? 150 metal apiece. So exactly half the cost, right? Oh, excuse me, 85 to 150, but it generates, it's just like more efficient, right? So that's a good point to
Yeah,
know.
it's almost the same efficiency of advanced solars, but is being built faster, right? Doesn't requires less build power per energy production,
Right, right.
and also a lot less energy
Right.
in advanced solar.
Which is huge on a lower
And on a map like this, you have basically infinite metal as soon as you get water, because you unlock suddenly 12 extra mechs for really rapidly. So being able to spend that metal requires equally amount of energy production very fast.
Right. Which it's hard to get right. It's different than other maps. Like I'm thinking Hades Pond, this map Mariposa Island, where it has so many more mexes than you're used to. It can be a little awkward to spend your metal efficiently. This looks kind of dangerous. This is a huge T1 army. I don't really see much of a response for this. Radar's just picking this up now.
Yeah, it's a really good timing from Ubi Vader here to send all his army across.
Yeah, I'm right. Kind of caught.
I'm still stabilizing my eco from my shipyard. I was gonna reclaim my shipyard and start pumping out vehicles here.
Right.
Really good timing attack. I'm gonna be really hurt from this attack.
Those solars are doing a good job body blocking. They're soaking up some shots, giving your army time to like get back in position. So suddenly, I mean, this isn't too threatening, right? I mean, these contours could almost even clean that up. Okay, so
yeah, my base building was really on point here at least. The solar wall with LLDs behind and build power behind, so able to negate most of that. But I did take a bit of damage here.
Yeah, that was actually handled. I think that was going to get a lot more damage than it did. Maybe if he was like over here or something like that. But yeah, maybe best case scenario there. Lost the minimum, as they say. All right. Lucky for you, I suppose the commander is on the high ground, so you're kind of contesting a portion of it that way. It's not like giving it up for free.
Yeah, you say that this time. I'm very, very paranoid about my commander safety.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like like D-guns are good, right? What are you gonna do? You're gonna snipe. Okay, pawns actually can kill commanders. Do you? All right, that was close. That might have been maybe a little.
That was way too close. The moment my base was under attack, I should have retreated from the middle.
Right. Okay.
Big misplay by my part. I think if he was a bit more confident about this snipe, he could have pulled it off.
Yeah,
I think a bit of hesitation going on, and that didn't work for him.
There's this like dance you can do with the pawns, like where you zigzag left and right, and I don't know what it is, but they just like harder to shoot with the D-guns that way. He might have lost. I think I mean, maybe he could have gotten the commander there. I think you're right. If he was a little more decisive, a little more sharp. So this is scary. Having the threat of the res snowball behind any kind of engagement. And here's the gunship transition. All right, so there's no radar to spot the commander.
My commander again.
Yeah, that could have been game very well, but too bad he didn't have like units in position to kind of follow it up. But now we see like the power of these gunships, right? They can come in, snipe the mexes so quickly. Can even deal with these gunships.
I have my own air lab, I believe, at this point, so yeah. I know that the gunships are going to do a bit of damage, but I'll be resurrecting the wreck and dealing with it. Also, it's a time where I have ships going inside his base now, so I'm getting some compensation.
Yeah, I wanted to show this earlier. These missile corvettes can actually hit a lot of these water mechs or mexes close to the shore there. So kind of an eye for an eye here. Like I think he might be getting a little more value with the gunships, right? But it is, oh goodness, missing this fight in mid.
Definitely a lot going on Mariposa, right?
Yeah.
Ship battle, air battle,
Right.
and the big plateau fight.
Which is, I guess, the I don't want to say the strength of the map, right? But it just goes like a testament to how good the map it actually is, right? It's like the better player should win here, right? You have like all these things to micro, all of these decisions to make, and it's just,
Oh yeah, so many decisions.
yeah. Man, he got a lot of value with his gunships, even like kind of desperately trying to get up this AA in the water here, which is going to protect all these titles, right? There's this huge fight in mid. Like, where did those resbots go? I think I was trying to get that out, or I think he ended up losing some of those. That's not what you want, but there is quite a big reclaim field next to his base. And
Oh yeah, we didn't see it, but when I did my prior hard engage, I sniped all of them.
Okay.
It was the way I overextended a bit, but I was able to kill, I think, like a ball of 10, which is why I went for it. And I knew my commander was closer to the wreck, so I took the risk to go for it.
AA first, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
As soon as I uncloak, I go straight into AA.
okay, so we got two cons trying to rebuild those mexes in mid, right? You do have control of the plateau, which is working out in your favor a lot. These two missile corvettes have 14 kills between the two of them, and they're not really done getting damage. Really nice to see. So, like, when is the Tech 2 transition? Like, when do you feel comfortable to do that, or what are you looking for to make a T2 transition? I see, actually, we have a bot lab going up now.
Yeah, I think I'm looking mostly at energy production and not metal. Not how much metal I have, but how much metal I have in storage. Like, if you think of the solar as like a metal storage, because you can reclaim it for full value.
Right.
So if I have like 30 solar panels, is when I'm gonna start looking at tier 2.
Right.
Now I have less, but I have like 3 labs, so a mixture of labs tidal and labs, and I know I have enough to go through here to do the transition quite rapidly without losing tempo on the map.
Right. And that's really kind of sneaky in a way, because normally you kind of think of a lull in the fight as when your opponent might be transitioning, but perhaps you're doing a little like deception here, being so aggressive, but making this really effective transition behind it, right? So that's nice.
Yeah, I know I can get both at the same time here. I have enough eco to sustain build power at home,
Right.
to do the transition quickly.
And the build power on the front line. I mean, this is like this does represent, what is this taking? Energy from the resbots doing their thing, which are getting sniped now. That's actually really cute, seeing gunships snipe resbots. Yeah, but I guess it's like that healthy energy economy is getting you both, right? The transition to T2, which I guess you made mexes. Where did that lab go? I guess we've...
The tier 2 lab?
Yeah. Did you...
Oh, it's happening.
Oh,
It's
okay.
happening.
Sorry, I guess we waited a bit. Thought I was going up a bit earlier. This is huge. Like,
I
having
did delay it for an extra 30 seconds because I was resurrecting all the
Right.
Shreks, so I was looking for more energy toward the res field rather than the tier 2.
Okay.
I don't want to stall those res bots while getting tier 2 up.
Right. Guess I gave you also a moment to kind of recuperate on your eco a little bit. You got good 7-8 nexus turned back online, but really getting the value from the resbots was huge. I can even see halos on top of resbots, which is kind of wild to see. See some fighters flying over the main base, looking for a T2 transition, I guess, or kind of...
Yeah, well, more than tier 2, I'm looking at how much wind he has. If he has enough to convert, then I know hitting wind right now is not going to be a reasonable way to deal damage. But if he's not in the converting stage, right, then I know hurting his wind economy is going to put the bottleneck on his energy production. Because I saw this huge blob of windmill on the top right here, so
Right,
I knew I could perhaps send some units there, lose some of it, and then hurt his economy.
This,
But he was converting all his energy, so there was no point.
right. The single destroyer is kind of idle. That could get a lot more value here, actually. 6 kills. Finally moving forward there. It can be.
I think I also have a sub on his side.
Yeah, I hear it shooting.
With a lot
Actually,
of
okay,
kills.
yeah. 22 kills. Okay, I've been missing this the whole
Yeah,
time, right? All right.
We're both APM stalling against a single unit.
Yeah,
While fighting the big fight on the side.
Yeah, I mean that's the hard part about this map. It's like, peak bar, right? I mean, this crazy 1v1.
Yeah.
All right, so the T2 is finally up. What did we do? We went Con first into Twitchers. I think that's probably one of the better units in the game, right?
There we go, Twitcher. The best tier 2 unit is Twitcher and Butler. And Console.
Consoles are insane. Yeah, I love consoles. They're like,
People are really using them.
right?
Twitchers are able to make everything.
Right? They make
Crazy.
fiends, right?
They make fiends, they make grunts. I love making grunts with them.
They make T2 arty? Okay, persecutors. Yeah, that's
They
kind
make
of
crossbows. Okay, here we have a good pickup on the economy. Not losing many tanks for this run by, which is nice.
He is doing a little bit of reclaim micro, which is super strong. So getting some of these, got a few of those tanks with the reclaim straight up. But yeah, I mean, now there's tanks in the back lane. Like, how do you deal with 4 stouts? And T2 was revealed. Okay, maybe ideal, maybe not.
I haven't given it much thought. I never really hide tier 2. I think what you're gonna do with the information, right? Go tier 2 yourself, then I get more tempo.
I think it's more or less like if you can conceal you've been on T2 longer, you can start upgrading your mexes and kind of have that kind of going on in the background before it actually becomes apparent. So maybe that's not the right way.
That's one way, yeah.
Looking at it, but yeah. I play different than you. I think I'm more of like I'll just win 10 minutes from now. I'm not like I don't know if the plan isn't just kill the enemy commander, so to speak. Not, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
No, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
When I go tier 2, I usually don't have this super turtle playstyle that other players have. They're like, okay, I'm tier 2, I'm gonna put the mine layer down, pork up, get my economy established, right? When I go tier 2, I'm like, okay, Twitcher time, grunt on repeat, fiends. Look at the center, what's going on the platform.
Yeah. There's like multiple
massive
counters.
production of
So
counters, fiends and grunts being produced straight from the front.
Is there a way to get these grunts on repeat, or are you just constantly like box clicking groups of grunts, or is there a way to repeat that so they kind of infinitely make the grunts?
Yeah, I put the Twitchers on repeat. And
You put them on repeat. Oh, okay, so you shift click the box.
I
of
think
grunts?
I think the initial ones I did not put on repeat because I wanted
okay.
to build more stuff with it. But eventually I do put them on repeat.
Okay, so this is looking like kind of getting out of hand in a way. You've taken out quite a bit of E. Somehow he's making a. This is cute. This is peak bar. I mean, I've said it a couple times, but yeah, con versus con is like.
Oh my god, I didn't see that. It always happens.
One interesting thing to note, they actually had to nerf like the Twitcher console because it was able to make like hounds and Sheltons, right? Which was totally busted because you could just go T2 and give all your teammates Twitchers.
Oh yeah,
and then
that was an 8v8 mistake.
Yeah,
giving hounds and spiders the recluse off of the console was a really big mistake.
right.
You reclaim your lab, you gain 600 metal, and you're able to produce tier 2 units.
Oh, he's got gunslingers. I want these units to be good. You can make gunslingers from like the butler, right? Or is it the console?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Or is that I don't see one.
I'm surprised. Yeah, when I saw the gunslingers, I thought I was gonna be able to just overwhelm the entire base, but I think the build power was able to stop me.
What do you
Beamer, build power, and gunslinger?
What would you prefer here, gunslinger or welders? Like when you're kind of on the back foot.
I'm not sure yet. This composition against tier 2 Cortex is a bit struggle for Armada usually.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna say something a bit different here. I'm gonna say sprinters are a nice addition to your army.
Yeah.
But I think when you're Armada and you're tier 2, you make tier 2 con the butlers, and I think you even just go back to tier 1. The tier 1 units for Armada are crazy good in tier 2 stage.
Is that just the
Pawns
speed?
are just
or...
an insane DPS.
Right, okay.
And ticks are just like the more damage the enemy unit deal, the more value you get out of ticks.
I guess it's like what tick guns, not gunslinger. Oh, what was the one you just called out? The one that's quick and runs around. The sprinter.
Pawn?
The sprinter.
Oh yeah, the sprinter.
Yeah. Like tick sprinter is kind of wild. He's so fast, so much DPS. Yeah. And like yeah, it could actually take on these fiends, right? I'm sure like they get the flanking damage on them, but I think this is just too much damage, right? Like too much tempo, just like running in fiends. This is really strong.
Yeah, just
man.
slowly chipping away at his economy. And with fiends, I'm not leaving any wrecks behind too, so getting more value out of these.
Fiends don't
raids.
leave wrecks. Oh, I didn't really know that. Is that?
Yeah, it's a big part. They explode and deal a lot of damage and leave nowhere.
Oh my goodness, I did not realize that. Like I knew fiends were good, right? But you're just kind of talking me into it. And this is something I've kind of struggled with recently. Is like, do you go T2 core bots or T2 core vehicles?
Yeah, I really like core bots when the map is larger. Then you can abuse the Twitcher to make grunts
Right.
and fiends. But I think once you narrow down into a choke point map, you want to add those vehicle instead.
What are you
I
making?
think I
out of it?
do. I think you start with bots on the big map, and then you add the vehicle transition after.
Right.
Otherwise, you just get overwhelmed. Like you get Zerg rushed by all these grunts.
Dude, look at how good gunslingers are. I mean, tell me that's not like just flavorfully. That's just amazing. I don't know.
Yeah, they've been surprising.
Yeah. Now we see some butlers coming out. I want to click on one of these and see what they can actually make. Actually,
Yeah, there's the fat boy too.
and a fat boy. Don't see this
Yeah.
unit every day.
Absolutely.
Actually, not in 1v1s either. So, kind of like a bot czar or something like that. I'm not sure how you would.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to look at it. It's like you leave it alive too long and it's gonna stack up value.
The fiends are too fast, man. It's like once if you can't keep them at in a line away from your economy, it's just like dealing with the incisors, but perhaps even worse, right? Do that AoE splash damage.
Yeah, fiends are like the pawns for Cortex. Such high DPS, low HP unit.
And they're quick. Don't leave Rex. And like the control B is on them as well. Don't see that too often, but I mean you can really deal with T1, like big T1 armies with a couple fiends, right? Just with that self D.
Yeah. There we go, the vehicle transition. Oh, I'm adding grunts. fiends,
Tremor
and
Quaker.
Tremor Quaker. Tiger.
Okay.
I think Tremor, we're gonna see more of it soon.
Yeah. So is this a siege tank? Is that like okay? It's not moving. I was wondering. It looked like it was. Okay, that's kind of cute. That doesn't really slow down its movement speed, does it?
Yeah, these new models are nice.
Yeah, a little bit.
I really like the new Quakers.
Yeah, that's
the model.
cool. Yeah.
I'm not sure about the unit. I think I trolled here to make that, but I was so ahead I wanted to siege more.
Sorry. Gonna take some screenshots.
Oh yeah, that Tremor. So obnoxious.
Yeah, right. I don't
Just
really.
bring map control into a deep win.
Alt F4 is doing a really good job holding on here, and he even has like two T2P gens, right, which is definitely fueling his economy right now. But it's really hard to see a way he kind of gets back in this game without like leveraging some kind of like C control or having.
I think the Tremor was just too much here.
Yeah, the tremor, right? It's like so too oppressive, right? Look at this. It's raining down. Love to see it. Sorry, I've literally never made one of these units. Okay, that's it. GG. Okay, so 2-0 Alt F4. 2-0ing Alt F4. That's no easy task, man. Well played.
Absolutely, I'll give a good fight.
Battle ended.
He was a round of 8 contestant last season, so definitely cool to see things kind of getting shaken up in the maybe like power rankings, so to speak. But before we end it, do you have any kind of comments you'd like to throw out, or anything you'd like to
Yeah,
say?
Tremor is really good, guys. Tremor, Sprinters, all of those units, you only see an 8v8, they're actually okay. You should be making them.
Time will tell. Hopefully we see.
Look at this guy, he's not stopping. The game has been over, stop. Alright, thanks for having me.
Kuchy, thanks for coming on, dude. That was a really good time, and I hope we can do some more replays in the future. But yeah, if you guys liked the video, leave a comment, like it. I'll see you this Saturday. We're going to be playing the Bar Pro League round of 8 finals. Gonna play down to another champion. So see you guys there, and yeah, catch you around. Thanks for watching.